So, welcome to Women of Empowerment Ministries. This is your host, Diane Winbush. And so, thank you for tuning in with us on today, this Saturday. And we hope that you get something out of it. Our mission is to make sure that women are empowered and impacted in many areas to be able to grow in a Christian life. And even if it's not biblical, you still can be able to grow because we have a normal lifestyle as well. So today we will be talking about things in regards to hospice. I know a lot of everybody should be able to relate to that in regards to family members or past family members or friends or someone that you know. I know we had to go through it with our father, and we learned a little bit about it then at that time. So to talk to us about that today, we want to welcome to the broadcast Miss Angel Gaddis, who is our guest on today. So good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about you before we start to talking about um, hospice and hospitality and what have you. Tell us a little bit about you, growing up, how you got started and what have you, and then what actually led you into wanting to help families in this area.
So I'm Angel Gaddis. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I've always had a desire to help people. I think growing up, I started off in a single parent home. So I was raised by my mother. Went through a lot of things in life, a lot of challenges. And so I missed out on the love, the emotional part of things, as far as, hearing the words, I love you, the mother-daughter bond, just because of generational cycles that continued and continued and continued. And I told myself when I had my children that I wanted to break those cycles. So I have two daughters, one's 17, one is 8. And I was finally able to break the cycle, tell my children I love them. We have a very good bond. Communication is wide open, so I couldn't be more grateful. So in that area, I've always wanted to help. I've always wanted to make changes, and I've always liked a challenge. So I guess growing up in a family where there was a generational curse, the challenge was, Angel, can you break it? So I was able to do that, and I'm very grateful for that. But I couldn't have done it without God, honestly. And we go through life, and we go through challenges, we go through ups and downs, we go through trials and tribulations. But it's not until you have that connection with God that you actually start to look at things different. And so I've always wanted to be in healthcare. I started off wanting to be a pediatrician, but I couldn't handle children being sick. So then I moved into geriatrics. So once I moved into geriatrics, I fell in love with elderly people. I always wanted to help them. My favorite was always dementia. And so after that, I witnessed my first time working in a nursing home where I had one of my patients that actually passed away. And it was the first time experiencing someone that was on hospice that I had witnessed being there as she transitioned. It is a beautiful thing. To a lot of people, it can be traumatic. It could be devastating. It could be really sad. But it was the connection of being there for her at that time, because she could have died alone.
Absolutely.
So, and sometimes families can get there in time, sometimes families can't handle it. And so that's where I step in. And that's why I started my own business, the Passing Bridge to the Afterlife, which I assist families with making memories, as well as patient care through the transition.
Okay.
So I did have my own personal time where a close family member passed away. And this was last year. It was my mother's boyfriend. And we only had a few hours we were in a position where the doctor said, hey, he's leaving today. Wasn't something we expected, but it was going to happen. So I came to the hospital. I actually thanked him for a lot of things he had done in my life between me and my mother. We laughed. We played a game. I played a game with him, a hand game. And I was like, okay, I'm going to squeeze your hand. As many times as I squeeze your hand, you squeeze mine. So we did that for about 5 minutes. We laughed. We had fun. We were able to take pictures. I was able to video him. And then after a while, he looked at me and he said, Angel, I'm ready to go now.
Okay.
And I said, okay, you have fought a good fight and the battle's over. Okay. And so I had to pull the plug after a while. But after that, of course, I was emotional. However, I created these memories for my mom that she wasn't necessarily thinking about. She's devastated. She's sad. She's losing someone, while I'm creating these memories so that she has something to hold on to help her heal.
Okay.
And it was a beautiful feeling for me to be there for him through his transition. And that's why, like I said, that's why I started my business. I'm super excited. I love what I do. And I just, you know, just as important as it is when a baby is born, we take pictures, we take videos, we laugh. It's just as important when someone passes away. So I am super excited about this business and this journey that I'm taking.
Okay, great. So talk to us a little bit about, so when people hear about hospice, they don't know what to expect. They perhaps maybe know it's something about a medical issue, or, you know, or what have you. I had an opportunity to be a chaplain some years ago in a hospital, and soon as you come in and say knock knock, you know, here's the chaplain coming in, you know, the first thing they think about is death. Now we do know hospice is connected with right before a person is about to pass, but at the same time, define with the audience what hospice actually is.
So hospice is not necessarily someone passing away. Hospice is also for a family that can't take care of their loved one through the transition. It could be years before a person dies and a family has them on hospice.
Oh, okay.
So, yes. So you're doing the normal routine of the brushing teeth, washing face, the cleaning, the normal routine you would do for someone that is in a nursing home. So it doesn't really change. It's just that it's a possibility that at any time they could go, but you don't know.
Okay.
So you still keep up the same routine that you would keep up with a loved one that is sick and can't help themselves. It's really, and then again, you have those that are on hospice that, hey, we have 24 hours, or we have 48, or we have 2 weeks, but you never know, because when their time is up, their time is up. So you can say 2 weeks, and I've seen it happen, and a person be there for several more months. So it's just a preparation so that you are prepared for what is to happen one day.
Okay, great. So let's talk about your brand. What you have to offer that you bring to your clients, and so take, for example, if someone goes to your website today and they say, okay, Angel, in your location, your demographics, and they said, okay, Angel, we want to learn a little bit more about your hospice care, because sometimes individuals may offer some may offer a limit amount of services. So take us in a little bit steps as to the initiative process as a client coming to you asking for your services.
So we custom tailor packages. So I have 4 different packages. I have a favors package, a pampering package, a memories package, and a build your own package. So out of each one of those packages, you choose 4 different things that you want out of that package. The build your own, of course, you may say, hey, I want you to curl her hair, but I also want you to do a photo shoot or create a video. So that would be a build your own package where we would take care of you that way. So basically, you'll choose the things you want within the package. If you want more out of the package, you are more than welcome to get that, but then we would talk about different prices. So basically, we would have a consultation where we would talk about what you're looking for. A lot of times, they're looking for a lot of patient care, just to be able to take care of their loved ones and make sure they're cleaned and make sure they're groomed throughout the day, which is also fine. So it just depends on what the family is needing. But like I said, those packages are available. I'm willing to change things if need be. I'm willing to do more if need be. I just want to make sure that the family is taken care of and it's an easy transition or easy process. And most importantly, I want to make sure that the patient feels great. I want that patient's last memories before they transition to be peaceful. So that is my goal. That is what my company is there to do, is make it a peaceful transition.
Okay, great. Here in the South, it was a friend of ours, and she was a business owner as well. And so her organization was more like something a little bit of what you do, but I think hers was right before you get to the hospice um, status. I guess I can use that word. And so what she would do, she would do some things basically of what you offer. And so she would go to their homes. Hers was more, mobile. She would go to their house. She would do their hair. She would bathe them, and then she would also do, pedicures and manicures and stuff as well. So it just kind of made me flash back on some things about her. Even when I had some years ago when we kind of did some events together and what have you. So your service is mobile, or are they just in a specific location where you offer service?
My service is mobile. I will go to your home. I know a lot of times in nursing homes, they have the hospice, area. I will go to the hospital. I will go to the nursing home. Anywhere you need me. I will even travel out of state.
Oh, wow.
That's how dedicated I am.
Okay, great.
So whatever that family needs of me, I will be there.
Okay, great. Right before our father had deceased, now he was not in a situation where you could go in there and do the nails and what have you, because he was at the point where I don't even think he even actually knew that he was actually around and what have you. So in this situation, his hospice care agent was his wife, and what
Okay.
have you. So share with us a little bit about that versus the critical standpoint that a patient can be in hospice, and whether it can still be fun or not. Because on this issue, it was not fun because he was not aware that he was here. And I think it was like a few days and that's how we began to learn about hospice then, was when he was ill back in 2012. So share a little bit about the dynamics of the fun part that you can be able to get out of it versus, they coming home. This is my last will and testament. They coming home. I want to die at home and I want to be at peace. I don't want to be in no hospital and what have you. So share with us a little bit about that.
So a lot of people may not know, but the last thing to go is your hearing. So even though you may not be able to see or even be coherent, the last thing to go is your hearing.
Okay.
So it is very critical to, speak to them on levels of why you love them, how they made a difference in your life, or what is great, or hey, I have on your favorite basketball game today. There's such and such is playing that, because they can hear that. They may not respond, but until they go, the last thing that they have is their hearing.
Okay.
So that's when it becomes personal. And that's when, you can share those things. So it may not be as fun, but at least maybe the things that there may be challenges. There may have been things that happened throughout childhood or throughout life that you weren't able to say or speak on.
Mhm.
Then would be the time.
Okay.
Then would be the time to, if that's what you want, maybe it would be easier for you to speak at that time. So that's when you share those things, share how much you love them, share maybe how much something may have hurt, but you've gotten over that. That's when you let go. That's the moment when you let go and and be at peace.
Okay.
Because you don't want to go on living life holding on to something and they're gone.
Right.
And then, so that becomes a challenge and devastating as well. But when you're in a critical situation, like as far as my business, there also should be a nurse available, on those levels of, IV, blood, sick draw. I can do a lot of that. I've been in the healthcare for over 10 years now. So I've touched everything pretty much. But my goal is just to take care of you on a personal level.
Right.
So I would still suggest you having a nurse and, having someone to come in to check vitals, unless you're at the point of remove everything and let them just go when it's time. And I think a lot of times it's better. A lot of times I've seen families hold on to their loved ones
Mhm.
and their loved ones are struggling and it hurts my heart. I mean, I get it,
Mhm.
but I've seen to where a patient is completely at her end. Like she is struggling to live.
Mhm.
And because we as humans are selfish and we don't want to see our loved ones go, we want to hold on and hold on. But it's only allowing them to suffer. And that's what I had to explain to my mom. Say what you have to say, hold on, love, talk, but he's suffering and he's tired and he's ready to go. And it's not that they're forever with you. They're going to eternity. They're going to a place of peace. They're going to a place. Once you get into that mind frame, then you understand.
Right.
Like we look at it as they're no longer here in the body, in the flesh. But it's just as beautiful as transitioning as it is coming into the world.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So, sometimes you have to go to those levels. And again, that's why I step in. Families are not there. I'm not mad about it. I don't blame them for it. It's not a bad thing. It's just there are people like myself that can step in and help you with that have been through that, been on that journey. And I think this is my calling. I
Okay.
truly do.
Okay. Absolutely. Because it was a statement that you had made uh, uh, just a little bit before, and it was in regards to, making sure that you have medical staff. And I know that you stated that you also have training as well. And that was going to be the next question that I was going to ask was, how does your organization, work well with, maybe like homebound nurses, medical facilities that may have to come to, like here in the South, we have a medical tool called Blue Care. So that's where someone comes in, they sit with the patient, it's through like a Medicaid type of supplement. They sit with the patient like 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, or something like that. And so that was going to be the next question as to how your organization collaborates with other medical institutions while you're there and while they're there at the same time.
So a lot of times, so I'm a tech, I'm not a nurse. Um, Reasons for that is I think that in this day and age, patient care has been taken out of healthcare. I
Okay.
do believe it's more about money than it is about the patient care. And I am very strong on making sure a patient is taken care of. So this is another reason why I have my business, because I feel like there's no proper patient care at this time.
Okay.
So if you're a nurse, you're going to give that. So you tell me what I need to do as far as on a patient care, on a patient level of, or on a level of taking care of a patient, what I can do to assist you in
Okay.
helping your job making your job easier, as well as vice versa. So we do have the same thing out here. We have at-home nurses that come out and they give the medicine. You know, I can give the vitals, but they come out, they do the medicine. If they need to draw blood, they'll do so. But for the most part, when they're on hospice, there's not really much that a nurse needs to do unless the family has requested something, you know, because at this point, they're just on oxygen for the most part, or maybe on some medication, which I suggest a nurse giving the medication, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're giving medication and what if you give the wrong dose, or and you're not certified, then that's a whole nother legal thing going on with the family. And that's something I don't want to get into. So I just stick to the patient care. If there's things that I can do to assist the nurse as far as on the levels of what I'm doing, then I'll do that. But if I'm not certified or if I don't have a degree in it, I don't want to touch it.
Okay, great. So what are the next steps? What is the next chapter for, first of all, before we talk about what's the next chapter for your organization, we want to know what's the next chapter for you. What are some of the short and long-term goals that you would like to be able to achieve for Angel?
So I just finished my book 2 days ago. Okay. It is called The Innocence of a Guilty Victim. And it talks about, thank you, I'm super excited. It talks about my traumatic childhood and breaking generational curses and how I persevered and how through the journey, you're gonna, like I said, you have your trials and tribulations, but God never took his hands off of me. He never let me go. And it was only when I made the personal relationship with him that things started to work out in my favor. Then I started to understand why I went through these things and how he has kept me. And so it's really a voice for my teenage girls that I deal with a lot. I also talk to teenage girls through adversity and trials that they're going through. That's another thing that I love to do. So this book is basically a voice for them because there are so many who are going through.
Are you hungry? What time we going to the pool?
Who go through things that, you know, they either are embarrassed, they don't know how to say it, they don't know how to speak to the person that they may have this issue with. So in my book, it pretty much teaches, or not teaches, it shows you, you know, steps that you have to take and things that you have to do. And it's okay, it's your journey. I struggled a lot because I grew up in a household with a mother that was emotionally detached. And it was because she only knew to do what she was taught to do.
Okay.
And it still hurt me.
Right.
Because I missed out on that. And then I had a father who chose drugs in the street life before me, or put drugs in street life before me. It was an addiction. So through this journey, I was always told I would never be anything by certain people that were in my family, that was in my life. So I strived constantly to prove myself, to put that behind me. No, I have something to prove. I am this good person. I can do this. No, I won't be this way, until I finally learned it is my journey. It is my life. I have nothing to prove to anybody but God. No one will change me but God. And through that, it was a long 36 years.
Okay.
That it took. So through the process, I talk about it in my book, and I talk about once I made the connection with God, how things start to unravel, how I start to see things in a different light. And it takes time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you just take one day at a time and never give up. So that's my book. So I'm really excited about that. Sorry, I'm long-winded with that, but I'm very passionate about this book. So traveling with my children, making sure my daughter, she wants to go to film school. She wants to be a film director. So I'm a full-time mom. I have an 8-year-old. So my life is pretty busy, but those are the things. So doing motivational speeches, going out speaking are some of the things that I'm looking forward to doing. Podcasts like this, like I really appreciate you for giving me this opportunity. This is totally amazing. I'm so very grateful for it. So those are the things I'm looking forward to in life.
Okay, so basically your book is to share with women how to overcome some barriers and to break through some barriers, what you have been through in the past, because all of us have, even people that we see on television, they have had traumatic experiences, issues, and what have you. Perhaps some people may share them and some people may conceal them. They don't want to, maybe talk to the world about their past issues or what have you and things. So this book is opening up therapy for you and for other women. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay, great.
And I just want to touch on it a little bit just to give out what I'll be talking about. So that's a little bit of the topic on, that's the first topic on what I speak on. And then from there, how I persevere and how I keep going and how I never give up. So, yes.
Okay, great. So for the last question, I would like to ask, here in Memphis, they have hospice centers. So it's basically like you may go to Methodist Hospital, then you may go to another center like right down the street, or perhaps 500 feet from it. And it's like a whole entire, thing where people can be able to do different things. And sometimes the families can also be stationed there as well. So what are some of the long-term goals that you would like to see for your organization? I know that you offer, mobility services. I know that you offer services where you go into their home, you may do their hair, you may do maybe, I don't know, massages or whatever you may offer and what have you. But what is some of the long-time goals? What are some of the long-time goals that you would like to see for our organization? Because some people, may branch out to new different brand extensions with their organization. So what are some of the things that you would like to achieve and accomplish with the organization? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Do you want to be able to be where you can offer services in other areas where you can perhaps maybe set up a portal there and hire people or have volunteers in that area to be able to provide services for you?
So you pretty much nailed it. Yes, my 5-year goal is to be in other states. I love to give back. So right now I'm at a place where I have several people, like family members that work in they're beauticians.
Okay.
And I have a photography twin, and I have a friend that does makeup, or so I want to be able to also use their services because I'm not going to be able to be everywhere. So eventually I want to hire people that are, what's the word? I want to hire people that specifically work in that area. Like if I need you to come out and do a photo shoot, I need a photographer. I have one. And so eventually I want to be all over in different states. My next state I'm looking at is possibly Las Vegas, California, things like that, just because my daughter will be going there and I will be transitioning there too as well soon. So I want to be able to, like you said, have a setup in each state where I have people working for me as I continue my business.
Okay, great. So just a FYI for your business that you have. I remember some years ago when I first got started out, I was just one person. I knew I couldn't do it all. I knew, well, I thought I did. Yes, I did. Take that back. Yes, I did. I thought I could do it until I had to learn how to access the resources. Because what the brand that you have is, healthcare is such a large, hot topic button in the United States at this time. Not just now,
right?
This has been because we all deal with
right.
types of illnesses. So you use the resources that you have as far as,
right.
when you're to people's homes and you can utilize areas, other organizations that offer their services for free. You don't have to pay anybody anything. You go in with a strategy, and people like Empire Beauty Schools, the beauty schools will come out. You can call the optometry facilities. They can be able to provide resources to you for free. They will offer their people to you for free. This is me sowing a seed back into you as far as knowledge is concerned. There is a lot of things that you can do where you don't have to be able to break the bank and still be able to be available. Just think about it, even since the pandemic, how your services can be so available to so many people in other areas. And so you have to start, you don't have to just use your board of directors. You don't have to use just your family members and things like that. You don't have to just, all you have to do is just find your resources, get your resources. There are dentists in certain areas. They'll come out and they'll be able to help you in areas. Okay, I want to do this for so. They'll come out and they'll set up different things. They'll set up different portals for you where you can have access to these people free of charge, because you have individuals, even children that are in school. You got organizations where people, they're college students, they'll do it for credits and what have you. Of course, you make sure that you have all of your things together, making sure you got your application process. I don't do anything without paperwork. I'm just sorry. When it comes to dealing with people on the outside of business, I don't do anything without paperwork. I'm not going to take no family member's word. I don't care if you are my brother, just like I was telling, I was saying about this other business owner, and I'm going to bring it out on here too. And so she did the same thing like you did. She had family, she had all of this. She started a business. She started it with family. And so once the business had an awesome gift, God had blessed her. And once the business started to rising up, that's when the conflict, I don't care who's listening, the conflict started. And when the conflict started, it was her business, it was her brand, it was her baby, Tabashe, everything came from her. And when the conflict came in there, and when the money started growing, that's when they went in there and took her to court. Took this African American woman to court and then sued her and took her business away from her. The judge granted it. So, oh, glory to God. So you go in there and you find resources where you are. Find resources. There are people in many areas, not telling you how to run your business or anything. That's what I always do with all of the shows that I have. I always try to give back to business owners, entrepreneurs. It does not matter what status they own. I always try to finish the podcast by always giving wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. There are billions of people that are waiting on Angel. Billions of people. Do it to you. Do it for you free of charge. I think you're doing an awesome thing. A lot of people don't have the mindset to care about older people. People don't have the mindset to care about things like what you do, hospice and stuff. Oh, they're going to die anyway. But that's your calling. And whatever your calling is, God will give you the resources. So that's the reason why you're here on this show, to give you the resources. So are tons of organizations that are out there that you don't have to fill out no 501(c) form or anything. They will be more than happy to donate to you. So what happened was, I'm gonna finish the story with this lady. So what happened was, after her own blood family took her to court and took her business from under her, God went in there and blessed her. She said, well, I told her, I said, you can come on and you can be a vendor at my event. We had an expo, a health expo. I said, come on. She said, no, it's over with for me and things. And when she got there, the God had lined the right people up for that woman at that event. And when she got there, she had signed, God blessed her where she was able to sign a contract with a high-powered organization where that woman had clients and customers for the rest of the year. Okay? So I don't need to say anything else. You don't have to always, what I'm saying is, you don't always take your eggs and put them in just one basket. There are people that are waiting on Angel. There are millions of people that are waiting on you. But for you to come to them and offer them, look, can I help? Can I help you do this and what have you? And then once you have a diversity, that's when other organizations on a higher level will reach down to you and start giving you funding for what you're doing. Come on here. It's not just about one or two people. I know this my brother, this my dad, and this my sister. You are here to make an impact on people and on the world. And so just
Right.
feathers out just a little bit. Just stretch them out just a little
Okay.
bit. Okay. And so with the last question that I would like to, didn't mean to get into all of that. I felt that's just
No, thank
that
you.
Lord had gave me. And I feel that's something that you need. Just always keep your eyes opened. Keep your eyes opened to things that are around you. And like I said, that woman came out more better than she was, even though the family did her like that and things. God put her in a better position than what she came out of before. So I think this is an awesome opportunity that you have at this point during the corona, after the corona, before the corona, because people need your help. That's an anointing that you have. Okay, so
Yep.
how can the listeners be able to follow you, the audience, how they can be able to connect with you, and how can they contact you? That's our last question, and we'll conclude this show, this broadcast on the day. Thank you so much for being with us. So let the audience know before you leave as to how they can be able to connect with you.
So you can connect with me at the Passing Bridge to the Afterlife at gmail.com. Also, if you're looking to pre-order the book, you can go to booksbyangel at gmail.com.
Okay.
Other than that, those two, I'm also on social media, the Passing Bridge to the Afterlife. That's my Instagram and my Facebook. So those are other ways that you can connect as well.
Okay, great. So audience, we have had a wonderful time with Angel Gaddis. She is a phenomenal woman trying to do hospice care. She's doing hospice care, and she also has a book. We would love for you to go out and to support her and support her endeavors as to what she is doing. So we would like to thank everyone for being here on the show on today, and thank you, Angel, for being our guest.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Ms.
We
Diane.
hope to have you back. I'm gonna swing back around before the year is out and check back on you, bring you back onto the show as to see how more progress and any other resources that you can be able to share with the audience. Okay.
Yes, and I also need your email so that I can connect with you through the process. Because again, this is very new to me, and a lot of information you've provided, it has been of great help to me today. And so I'd like for you to share some more information so that I can.
Absolutely. I'll share my number with you as well. I wanted to ask you that too, but I'll share my number with you as well and send it to you and what have you. We can collaborate, and I can be able to connect you with some more resources to be able to kind of help build you up even the more in that area, because a lot of times the ones that sometimes are pushed back in the back, and God wants them to be on the front as well. You have an awesome brand that you can be able to manifest in other cities, other states. You don't have to travel yourself. All you got to do is just open up a chapter. I'm not going to tell everything here on this on this because I don't want everybody else doing the same thing that you're doing. But you can open up other chapters in other cities where other people are working for you, and you can be sitting right there in your living room. So we're going to talk later on. I'm going to send everything over to you, and thank you so much. I wish you the best. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Diane. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Be blessed.
You too. Be safe.